The House of Representatives is expected to vote in a matter of hours on a bill that would force the Justice Department to release all of its unclassified files from the case of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Now, ahead of that vote, victims of Epstein's sexual abuse are joining lawmakers from both sides of the aisle for a press conference happening later this morning. One survivor discussed the importance of releasing the Epstein files while speaking to Major Garrett on The Takeout last night.
I see my 17-year-old self in those files. I see, for I think many of us survivors, looking at who we were then with all of our hopes, all of our dreams, all the things that we were aspiring to, all the promises that he made. I think that it brings us right back to that place. I want to be able to hug my 17-year-old self and say, it's all going to be okay. Other women will not have to go through this, and mean it. And right now, I don't necessarily feel that. I think without the transparency, we don't even know what the process to accountability is, right?
And we have team coverage for you on this morning. CBS News congressional reporter Taurean is standing by on Capitol Hill. But let's begin with Natalie Brand at the White House. Natalie, good morning. Listening to that survivor, it's clear that this represents accountability for them. President Trump addressed the controversy yesterday. What did he have to say?
Yeah, good morning, Errol. President Trump is now saying that he would sign this bill if it reaches his desk. That means not only would it have to pass the House, but also the Senate. And that's been the big question. If it does pass the House, does he support it going to the Senate? Yesterday, when asked by reporters, he said, yeah, let the Senate look at it, and that he would sign it, again, if it ends up passing through Congress. Now, the president in recent days has also talked a lot about the probe that he's newly called for the DOJ to once again look into Epstein's alleged ties with prominent Democrats. He continues to call this, a deflection, or continues to accuse Democrats of trying to deflect from Republican priorities. Take a listen to more of his latest comments on this topic.
The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them. And it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. And I don't want to take it away from really the greatness of what the Republican Party has accomplished over the last period of time.
So the president in the last couple of days made it clear that he wants to move on from this. But again, we have this new investigation, which some lawmakers, including Republican Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky, are kind of questioning the motivation, saying, well, if there's this new investigation, does that mean that the Department of Justice could say it cannot release all of the documents it has, even if Congress votes to do just that? The president not really answering that question when asked on Sunday, instead criticizing Massie. But there's a lot of outstanding questions. And the recent emails, documents that were released just last week, naming some high-profile figures, including Mr. Trump, who has denied any wrongdoing. It also included former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, corresponding with Epstein in those documents released. And we have a new statement from Summers, also the former president of Harvard University. He says he's going to be stepping back from public commitments as one of his broader efforts to rebuild trust and repair relationships with the people closest to me. In his statement, he says, quote, I am deeply ashamed of my actions and recognize the pain they have caused. Errol.
Significant developments there. Natalie with the latest. Thank you. CBS News congressional reporter Taurean joins us now from Capitol Hill. The action will be where you are today, Taurean. So when might this vote to release the full Epstein files take place, and is it expected to pass?
Well, it hasn't been set to the floor yet, but we know that votes are scheduled throughout the day, starting in the 2 p.m. hour, and then a final vote is expected around the 8 p.m. hour this evening. What we also know is that this is going forward through a suspension of the rules, which we talked about for weeks now. That would be or require a 2/3 majority for its passage, one that we might expect to happen, considering even House Speaker Mike Johnson acknowledged that more Republicans are supportive of voting in favor of this bill. So we could see that successfully happen. I think the reason why is because we're seeing a reframing of this, not just being about Epstein or investigation into Trump's connection to Epstein, but rather some type of measure of support or justice for Epstein's victims. Take a listen to what some Republicans had to say yesterday.
Now Donald Trump says, release the files. We're going to release the files. You're not going to find anything about Donald Trump. But this is how dangerous. This is how dangerous the Democrats are. This is nothing but a distraction. It's a distortion by the Democrat Party to blame Donald Trump for everything.
This isn't about President Trump. I mean, this is about women who are seeking justice and finally getting it. This is about more than Jeffrey Epstein. This is about more than the Epstein victims. This is representative, I think, and symbolic of every woman who has ever fought for justice and never gotten it.
One of the biggest champions of this bill, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Republican congresswoman from Georgia, was notably mum all yesterday after a pretty public spat with President Trump over the weekend and last week. We tried to ask her some questions yesterday. This is what she had to say, or didn't say, actually.
I'm not doing interviews right now. You guys were told that we're not doing interviews.
At minimum, though, the president today,
you were told that
the president did make news and say.
Now, I should also mention that Representative Thomas Massie, the sponsor of this bill, the Republican from Kentucky, expressed some concerns about the president now being gung-ho about this, saying that he also wants to investigate Democrats' involvement with Epstein. He says he believes, Massie that is, that President Trump and the administration could use a provision in the law that would not require the Justice Department to release any information under active investigation. We'll see if that plays a part in this at all, Errol.
All right, and that may not satisfy some who want to see everything. Taurean Small with the latest. Thank you.